Hey folks, Jonathan here. Got a lot going on. Finished up the trailer and we'll show you that real quick, but I wanted to go ahead and show you something I picked up. This is actually a fire bell. This is 16 inch, so it's not small at all. Okay, so this is the hammer, and what happens is when the sprinkler system comes on, it actually, I think, went through this hole and actually made a wheel turn in there, of course, and made the hammer go around and hit the bell. And that way you didn't have to have any electricity to have a emergency fire bell. Just only if the sprinkler system come on, it worked. And this was actually made by, we can get to it here, General Fire Extinguisher Company in Providence, Rhode Island. And it'd be early 1900s, I'm sure. So neat piece. This is the kind of stuff right here that when I do have, you know, a young person working for me, this is the kind of stuff I like to try to get them on to restore and do, you know, do things like that. If not, you know, who knows when I can get to it. But I like to get it when I get a chance, because, you know, it's hard to find some of this stuff, especially pieces like this. And I'm sure we're missing some stuff. I think it actually had a big cash cover it went over it originally. But that's okay. I don't mind it being open. Just need to make something to be able to mount this on. It almost like it's possible that this mounted on one side of the wall and this mounted on the other side of the wall. And this might even have went in brick, because these squares in here, it looks like it's about a half a brick size. So, you know, this may have been out on the street and this might have been in the building. So it's hard to say, or maybe in two different rooms. But pretty neat piece. We'll try to get something set up to where we can test it with some water pressure of some kind, you know, from a garden hose or something. So, all right folks, starting to get it dark on me. I'm not sure how this is going to look, but we're pretty much finished up with the trailer. We've got the deck on. Everything's welded, painted. A couple of little things I'm going to do. I'm going to add a couple more lights on the side. I did put the reflector tape, 3D rings. The corner rings are still on it. I actually added the ones back to the back, and then we got the ones up here. Everything's good to go. The frame is all done and painted. Let me see. Okay, boards we put up under the front, up under the back here, and then the center we put a plate across, and they're up under the back there. So this plate holds all the boards in, 5 bolts. If we have any trouble with warping, the plan is to go from the bottom side next to the C-channel, drill up through, and then we can put a bolt down through with a big washer beside the C-channel and hold it to it, and that way the boards will still be able to flex and move. Okay, somebody said that the boards will probably shrink in thickness and width, which is fine. I put them close together. They're still going to hold fine inside of here. You know, we're not going to have any issues there, so, you know, it's not a big deal. It's not like they're going to fall out. There's no way. So, you know, if they shrink up, some may shrink up. My only worry is warping, because I know you can, depending on which way you lay it with the grain, you know, the board's going to warp one way or the other. So, but like I said, I can go through with bolts and take care of that problem too. And I think it's going to work just fine. We're going to let them dry a while before we put oil on it, because these are pretty wet boards. And I got a sawmill. You know, it takes 3 hours maybe to cut them, maybe a little less, with getting it all ready and rolling. So, you know, it's not a problem. If we need to put boards on it later, we'll do it. But, you know, we're going to try to get these treated to where they don't give any trouble. We'll either use oil or transmission fluid or diesel, or we'll actually buy something commercial and use it. So I am going to add some pieces in right here. I didn't do that yet because I didn't know how far I could or couldn't go with the truck bed and the way it was. And let me see, we've got, of course, our safety chains. We've got we put a pin through here. We've got our breakaway, and there's our breakaway box with the battery, and it's good. That way, if we have any issues with the trailer falling off, then it locks the brakes up automatically. And everything's pretty much done. You know, the hole was in the wrong spot, so we put it in the right spot, and I put a plate in there, 1/4-inch plate, and actually put it on both sides. So that's finished up, and you know, all the wiring come out really good, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the axles. It pulls really good, no issues, no problems. So I think it's going to be ready to go. We're going to leave Friday. I do have to put the 3 DOT lights on. I got to pick up my tags next week, and let me see. I think we're going to do at least 2 lights on each side. I want to get some up toward the front on the sides. I kept a parking light wire separate. Everything else is in tubing. I actually welded conduit across, and I welded conduit long ways. And I had an extra piece laying under there, and you may have seen it when I flipped the trailer over. In the last video, it fell, and that was just an extra piece of conduit I had. So, but I wanted to make sure the wires were all protected, so they're all inside the conduit. So anything under it is inside of it. I didn't even realize that they ran the brake light or the brake wires from the other side to this side with through the tube. So that's all wired up for you. All you got to do is stand on one side. I was thinking I was going to have to cross over to the other side because I didn't want to run them on the outside of the axle, of course. So, but they had already had them ran inside, and I guess I'm used to mobile home axles. You know, they're not like that. So anyway, so I changed all the lug nuts to cover for the aluminum wheels. I got the lug nuts that are made for aluminum wheels. I didn't get the chrome ones or the fancy ones. I got the cheap ones, the ones that didn't cost so much. So anyway, everything's good to go. I think the trailer's going to work out good. We'll see. We're going to leave next weekend, and can't remember the name of the town. Holset, Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. Can't quite remember the name of it, but northern part. About 600 miles is what it is, and we'll head up there and get loaded up and see if we can come on back. And we've got a soapbox derby car under there. All right, I appreciate everybody watching. And oh, $2,100 is what I've got in the trailer, and maybe maybe 22. With I bought a few little things that I probably didn't have to do. I bought chains that I probably wouldn't have had to buy. I've got plenty of chain here, but I don't know, that shiny chain just looked good on it. So and these stickers on the side, they're Harbor Freight. They're not DOT approved. I don't think it matters. They work really good, and they seem to stick good. I looked at the reviews on them. People seem to like them. You can get a pack of 10 of them for $5.99, and you can do a bunch with 20 of them. And so we've actually got more that we can put on. And you can't have too many reflectors on it anyway. You don't need people running you over. And so good to go. 20 foot 2 inches is what the deck is, and instead of the 13 foot that it was when I got it. And like I said, I think it'll do really good. I'll probably do some live streaming maybe from when I go up to Ohio there, and maybe if I'm in the route of somebody that is there, they can let me know, and maybe we'll stop somewhere and see somebody. Who knows? We'll figure something out. But anyway, trailer project come along quick. It's been done for a few days, and I've actually took it all over the place. I had to go get it inspected by a DMV inspector. So the trailer was never titled before, even as the 13 foot. There was no serial numbers on it, so it was already a start of a homemade trailer. So we just done it as a full homemade trailer and stamped our numbers in it, and that the DMV gave me, and one in the back axle, one on the tongue, and then just using number punches. And then the highway patrol just looks at it, make sure you got your numbers on it, make sure it's actually a homemade trailer, not a store-bought one that you're trying to fake out. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all there is to it. And then you can buy your tags, and I've got to up my GVW on my truck before we go. And we'll, like I said, get all that done next week. I went ahead and done all the brakes on my truck yesterday, and all new brakes. So I've got to change the oil before we go, and do a few other little things that I want to check the rear end grease, and all the good stuff that normally don't check a lot when you're staying local anyway. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye. All right, folks, as you can see, I've been pretty busy picking up wrecks, and got plenty of them. So these two actually hit each other, and looks like I'm stuck with them. Won't get paid for either one of them. Ain't that shameful? A lot of times they will try to get you to haul both vehicles if it's a fatality where or they think it's going to be a fatality, so they're at the same place so they can do their investigation. But this did not turn out to be a fatality. Actually, these both cars, people pretty much, I mean, they come out really good. There was actually a passenger in that car, and they didn't end up with anything but I think a broken leg. So how they got so lucky, I'll never know, but they did. But anyway, I don't know if crumple zones work or not, but there you go. That's just part of what we've gotten here lately. They actually picked up 1 today and 3 yesterday, so we had a lot more. All right.